What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. And today I've come out to visit my friends Eric and Ryan to check out my buddies Ryan's Tesla. He's done some new mods to it. But before we check out the Tesla, which is just behind the camera, I realized I never actually showed you guys the new wheels we have on the Civic. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have already seen it. But I've never showed it on a video. So this is the new wheel setup for the Civic this year. I finally went up to an 18-inch wheel. I know some past videos people were commenting, why don't you go to an 18, go to 18, and I always wanted to. Finally this year I was able to. So we still have Enki wheels. This is the Enki TSRX wheels. It's again part of the tuning series, kind of like my old ones, and sitting on a Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, sorry, Pilot Sport All Season tire. I was gonna get the 4S's, but a bit more money, no, didn't really have it, didn't feel the need for the tracky tire. So it's a 235 40 18 tire, again sitting on the wheels, which looks super nice. Of course, gloss black. We still got the little blue stem cap there. So yeah, that's the new wheel setup for this car. I'll have more on this later on, but for right now, let's walk over here and check out the Tesla, which we've seen this car in videos before, briefly, before I show the wheels. I think we've seen this car once before, I think just shortly after Ryan took delivery of the car a couple years ago. I've driven it once, pretty cool. I think it was actually my first time driving an electric car. But you can see here are the new wheels on the car. So they're niche wheels, they're a 20-inch wheel. He's also gone ahead and painted the calipers in the red there. If you go to the front, you can see this wheel, and they still have the Tesla sticker on there. Hopefully you guys can see that. But yeah, nice wheels. What are they, gloss silver?
Yeah, they're gloss silver wheels, 20-inch. And the Tesla decals I put on after I painted it, and then I sprayed it with clear coat to make it all shiny.
So yeah, so they look cool, and it's kind of cool because I feel like Tesla is one of the cars that you don't see modified a lot. There's not a lot you can do with the Tesla, of course, being an electric car, but wheels obviously is something you can always do. So yeah, just cool to see a Tesla of any kind with kind of aftermarket wheels on it. And there's also some stuff on the inside that he's done the lights. Of course, we're not going to see the interior lights in the sunlight right now, but he's got a couple LED strips on the inside, which just kind of sit around the front dash and up in the middle there. So they had them on before. Again, you're not going to see them right now. Maybe we'll put the car back in so you can see. But yeah, just kind of cool to see a Tesla obviously being used and kind of modified with the limited capability that you have with these cars. And one other mod that Ryan just pointed out, which I hadn't noticed, I mean I haven't seen the car for a while, but is the seat cover with the black and white. So the seats come originally just all black leather, but Ryan was just saying he just found these online, got them custom made, and actually I couldn't even actually tell they were seat covers. At first I thought they were just straight leather. You can only really tell once you come into the back here. If you look up at the back right there, you might not be able to see on camera, you can see right there where it actually covers over the seat. But with the fitment on the front, as I said, I looked in your quill, I couldn't tell. I always assumed that the seats were just black and white, but then Ryan pointed out that no, they were straight black from the beginning. So yeah, definitely, if you're looking for seat covers, maybe I'll pop the website link down below if you guys want to check it out. But yeah, definitely it looks OEM, so if you're looking for seat covers, maybe go grab yourself a set of these. But say for right now, we're gonna hop in the car, we'll go for a test drive. Like I said, I've been in the car, I've driven the car once before, but it was when it was brand new. So I think we'll hop in the car, we'll go for a ride, and maybe talk to Ryan, the owner, just on what he thinks of EV cars. Of course, EV's kind of, up and coming now. It's probably gonna be the way of the future. So it'd be cool to get some perspective from a friend, someone I know who's lived with this car for almost 2 years, on kind of their experience with EV cars, and I guess kind of what we can all expect for the future going forward. Okay, so jumping into the Tesla for a quick drive, and one of the craziest things with this and all electric cars is, I mean, obviously, the starter's going to be silent, but in this car, it's kind of trippy, because technically right now the car is on, but it doesn't actually go anywhere until you actually hit the gas and you start moving, and it's kind of weird. It's a really weird sensation to be in. You hear literally no noise, and just like that, we're moving. What's up, guys? So I just wanted to jump on here as I was editing the video because unfortunately the original clip that I filmed of us in the car talking about, well, Ryan talking kind of about his ownership experience, for whatever reason the audio was completely messed up. There was just all kinds of static and white noise and you couldn't hear any of our voices talking. So just basically in a nutshell, to sum it up, Ryan was talking about his kind of coming up with 3 years ownership of driving a Tesla. And he talked a bit about the cons, which we'll actually touch on a little bit later in the video, so I won't talk about that. But basically, in a nutshell, he was saying, he absolutely loves the car. He's had it for about 3 years now. He's kind of in the boat where he doesn't really want to go back to a gas-powered car. So just a couple of notes on actually owning a Tesla. We were talking about, range anxiety and stuff like that versus, being able to having to charge a car versus just going to fill up at a gas station. He was saying if you're just kind of driving around the city, you don't have to really worry about range so much. But he said, if you someone that likes to take long road trips, or someone like him who travels around for work and goes up to the cottage fairly often, which is a few hundred kilometers round trip, they said you're definitely going to want the extended range, which his Model 3 is. I'm not sure if we mentioned it before, but he does have the extended range Model 3. But apart from that, you do save on cost because he got a bit of a grant. When he got his, I think he said he paid $56,000, and he got, I can't remember, but he got a pretty sizable grant back from the government for owning and driving an electric vehicle. So in a lot of ways, I can see a lot of pluses with owning an EV. You get a lot of these either provincial or federal grants to drive the car. They're obviously a lot cleaner than a gas-powered vehicle. You're not burning kind of the gas emissions that way. For me personally, as someone who likes, obviously I'm a big petrol head, I like my big loud engine cars. I do kind of see the space for EVs in the future. I think eventually we're gonna reach a point where I think EVs are going to be mandatory. I think we'll still be able to have gas-powered cars, but I think EVs will be kind of mandatory, especially around city centers and things like that. So is a Tesla the right car? I don't know. There's so much competition coming to the market, and I think we kind of have to wait and give it a couple of years until more companies have EV cars. But yeah, so far, just from talking to Ryan, his ownership over 3 years almost has been quite positive, except for, I think, really only one negative, which he'll touch on later on in the video. But yeah, I just wanted to jump on here and kind of bring that kind of a summary of what we were talking about before I kind of jump behind the wheel. And like I said, for whatever reason, the audio in those clips was completely horrible, was completely ruined. So yeah, I just wanted to jump in there and kind of, I guess, bring that information, and now we'll jump right back into the regular video. So how's this for a bit of cheeky fun? We've just pulled over so we can swap around so I can take the wheel to drive back over to the house. But we've just pulled into the Petrocan gas station. So we kind of parked the way. I don't know what people are thinking when they saw a Tesla pull into a gas station, but in any event, we're going to switch around. I'm going to take the wheel. We're wondering how to get out of the Tesla. Of course, with everything being electronic in this car, there's a little button on the side of the door handle there. You just go ahead, push it, and the door opens normally. So we'll step out. We'll hand the camera to Ryan so he can film, and I'm going to go hop in the driver's seat. So back in driving the Tesla. So I mean, it feels pretty much like, it's weird. Off the hop, it feels like a normal car. I mean, we're just going for a slow cruise right now, just on the side street. But I mean, yeah, you can definitely feel once you don't have to get on it too much for it to just start absolutely going. So we're gonna work our way back to the highway here. We'll make our way back to base, back to the house. Just a short little drive. But yeah, like I said, I have driven this car before, so I kind of knew what to expect. I've also briefly, I did like some Jaguar experience day, and I got to drive their electric car, the I-Pace, which for naming reasons I won't get into it now, but it doesn't make sense how the electric car is the I-Pace and the kind of the small gas SUV is the E-Pace. But we won't get on that right now. But yeah, I mean, just driving normally, the car feels like a car, despite the fact that you have no engine in it. You have really no engine noise. Yeah, it's a comfortable place to be. So we'll just get on a little bit, and I'll probably come back once we get on the highway, and we'll do a bit more of a run.
So while I got you guys here, there are a lot of pros about this car, but a few cons I should mention. is the brake maintenance. So that, like I said before, has to be done annually. But if you have the regenerative braking on the highest setting, you hardly ever have to touch your brakes. So yeah, the brake maintenance is a con about this car. Like, it has to be done annually, and if you don't have it done, then all the pins in there and the top of the brake pads, the metal around the brake pads will all rust, and the rotors will rust. So what I recommend is have the car put on like the lowest regen setting, like once a month, just to clean some of the rust off the rotors, because you don't have to touch the brakes ever in this car. So if you don't use the brakes, they'll wear out by rust from the rain. So
you know, it's an interesting thing to know. As well, I can demonstrate right now, I'm completely off the accelerator, I'm not touching the brake, and the car is slowing itself down. Now I'm going to hit the brakes before I hit the car in front of me, but for as an example, what I was just saying, I was doing about 50 kilometers an hour, I lifted off, and the car basically cruised itself down to about 5 kilometers an hour before I actually had to put the brake on to hold it so I don't hit the car in front of us. So that's one of the things I will say, coming from obviously owning a gas-powered car myself with the Civic and only really driving those, it is kind of weird to jump into any EV car really and feel that regen braking and just know, you know, in a normal gas car you kind of lift off the brake and the car will just kind of, it'll slow down, but it'll kind of still cruise forward and slowly go. Whereas in this car, like you're off the gas and pretty much the brakes are on really. I haven't do anything except really put your foot on it and hold it when you're out of red lights so you don't go flying into the traffic in front of you. Which is, again, it's one of the things that it's a learning curve, but I would imagine after driving the car for, you know, couple days or whatever, that you would pretty much get used to it. And I think it's also a thing you can completely shut off the regen braking in this car too, can't you?
Well, right now it's on the lowest setting.
So right,
you can put it back to the highest setting. You can feel the difference between the two.
Right. So which I think we'll do in just a second here. Okay, so we just pulled over for a second so we can pop the car up into the full regen braking setting. So I mean, you guys won't be able to tell, but I'll be able to get a feel and kind of give back. So I'll let Ryan do it. You see there, so let's
put this on hold too. So instead of the car creeping forward when you let go of the brake, now it will have the full regen when you stop to maximize range on that setting.
Right. And I'll just say quick, guys, I know from driving this car briefly in the past that this is one of the things it does take some getting used to, where you basically lift off and the car almost wants to like nosedive stop itself. But it's really cool that it has the brake hold system already in there, kind of like the system in the Civic, but that one you have to, you know, push a button, set it up, actually hold your foot on the brake. It's the whole thing. Where this one kind of just does it automatically. So we're gonna jump back on the highway here in a moment. So I'll pass the camera back off to Ryan, and then I'll come back to you guys once we actually get back on the road. So now we're back in the regen braking mode. All you gotta do to put this car on drive, it's all on the right stock here. So the park, you just push the button in, reverse is up, neutral is right in the middle, and then drive, you just tap it down all the way once, put your foot on the brake, and then you can see there how it has a hold system on. My foot was on the brake to put it in drive, you can see it's on hold, and then as soon as I tap the gas gently, it comes off and we can just pull away. So actually, while we're in the parking lot, well, it's kind of safe, let's just show you. I won't go super fast, but you can see I'm doing 13 kilometers an hour right now, and if I lift off the gas, the car pretty much stops itself right away, and all I've done is take my foot on and off the gas. I haven't even touched the brake. Yeah, that definitely takes some getting used to when you're used to just, you know, kind of getting off the accelerator and getting onto the gas. Getting onto the brakes kind of quickly. I mean, it's funny. It slows the car down maybe a little bit more than you would want by yourself actually tapping the brake, but it doesn't kind of lurch the car forward. I'm sure, you know, maybe if the sensor went off, you were going to hit something, it would, but you can also kind of modulate the throttle a bit. So, you know, if you want to not have the car brake as much, you don't lift off all the way. And you can basically one pedal drive this car, which is one of the things that Tesla, I know for sure, is kind of known for, that one pedal driving.
I prefer this setting. It just takes a bit to get used to. But if you go back to the lower regen setting, it feels like more of a normal car if you have it on that way. So whatever you prefer.
Yeah, definitely. We had it on the normal setting before, and I still, like I said, I would come off the accelerator, but it felt more like a normal car where you come off the accelerator. Hey, I think that's my friend.
Whereas this maximizes the range, so if you're all about efficiency, you'll like this setting better.
So yeah, like I say, it's definitely one of those things that you get used to quickly, but it's definitely a learning curve when you've come from a more traditional driving setting, let's say. And yeah, this car definitely has some pick. I mean, I just did a small pull there, and yeah, definitely, that's the one, I must say, as a car fan, I must say, the one thing I do like with the electric cars is just how fast that these things just kind of take off when you hit them. And I need to go that way to get on the thing. But anyways, we'll figure out how to get back on the highway here, even though I apparently forgot where I'm going. We'll get back on the highway, and we'll punch it again, and kind of,
Here,
again...
I'll help you out here. The home button.
There you go. There you go, guys. When in doubt, just always program your home address, and when in doubt, just hit the home button, and you know where to go. Okay, so we're just getting back on the highway, and actually, let's put it up here so you can see. So we're at 61 now, and then watch how fast we get to highway speed. I mean, what was that, like 3 seconds or something? And I wasn't even foot to the floor. I mean, I could put the pedal down a lot more than I did there. And yeah, so for anyone who says that even a Model 3 baby Tesla isn't quick, yeah, I can confirm that, no, this is a pretty damn quick car. It might not be, it might not be a Rimac fast, but you definitely go 0 to jail in this car very, very quickly. Again, just to go back to the regen braking thing that we were talking about before, guys, it's actually interesting. Obviously, when you're just going around town slowly, you lift off, the car basically stops itself. But it's actually cool, I guess, how the car modulates the braking based on your speed. So, like, I'm on the highway now, I'm doing 96 kilometers an hour. If I lift off, it doesn't kind of instantly slow the car down. It kind of gradually slows the car down. At least to me, coming to this kind of as a newbie, it doesn't feel like it brakes as fast as it does when you're just going at slower speeds kind of around town, like, approaching a stop sign. So it's kind of something interesting. I don't know, Ryan, you can probably give more feedback on that. I've daily driving the car, but like, am I wrong there, or did you get the sense that like around town you lift off with the regen braking, it slows down quicker than it does doing like 90 or 100 on the highway?
Yeah, no, it definitely recognizes how fast you're going and what it slows down at a reasonable speed. But also another thing, if it does slow down too fast, the lights come on up here. Your brake lights show that they're on even if you're not actually touching the brake. That's how fast the car slows down. Just as a safety feature.
Okay, so as we were mentioning before about the graphic showing up the brakes, so we speed up a little bit here, and then it's going to lift off, and you can probably see there how the brake lights come up. See, no brakes there, and then again you lift off, and you can actually see the brake lights come on the screen, which again it's just a cool little feature. So we're on a side street here. I'm not going to go super quick because obviously we're on a side street, but just to kind of show you all, try to get some sense of just how quick this car is from 0 to really any speed. I'm going to the floor. So basically, car is not moving, and we just hit the gas, and 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I don't know what that time was, but that 0 to 60, well, we've got to keep in mind, 0 to 60 kilometers an hour. That wasn't a really official time because it was 0 to 100, but yeah, you can just see even that little short hop, that doesn't take very long. And you guys might have heard in the background there, all the noise this car makes was just that kind of electrical whir, which you only really get when you're going really quickly. Otherwise, this car is dead silent. Anyways, we've returned back to base now. And yeah, we'll just park up here, and then, I don't know, we'll finish off this video. I don't know, maybe a couple more things to show you guys about the Tesla, and then that'll pretty much do it. Alright guys, so we're parked up, and you remember how before when we switched to driving, I showed you that the electric door release was on the handle here? Well, I don't know, Ryan was just telling me he paid $6 for the stickers for both sides to show you where the door button is, so people stop asking him how to get out, which is absolutely hilarious. I didn't even realize. I just assumed that was a Tesla thing, like, oh, here's how you get out of your Tesla. But no, yeah, Ryan over here paid $6.
Yeah, best
to,
$6 I've ever spent. So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's worth it. So that people ask you all the time, how the hell do I get out of the car? Okay, so as I said, back at base, Ryan's just going to pull the car. And actually, when he pulls it in, we can maybe shut the lights off and we can kind of see the interior lighting I was talking about. But yeah, that was a fun little drive out in this car. Check out the new wheels, which I didn't even mention, I think look absolutely awesome on this car. Again, like I said, it's pretty cool to see a Tesla Model 3 which is actually modified. I know Ryan is his daily car, his only car, so he obviously uses the car every day. So yeah, really cool to see the new wheels on the car, just to kind of catch up, to drive it again and actually get a proper feel for it. And here, now that we're in, are the lights on? Yep. So you can see there, not the greatest light, but you can see there's a strip that runs all the way across the front of the car and down by the center console. We have the two cup holders as well. So yeah, you can't see it the best right now, but yeah, they're there, and they can switch to different colors as well. It's just an app on your phone that you control. But yeah, just another little cool mod that you can see there, which again just kind of adds to the character of this car. Okay, so that's going to do it for this video. We're just going to hang out for a little bit here. But yeah, again, once again, just really fun to come out, see the Tesla, again, see it modified. You don't really see a lot of Teslas of any kind really modified like that. Of course, as I mentioned, not much you can do with the cars. Of course, you can't do any engine mods or anything. So really, you're kind of limited to wheels and tires and I guess cosmetic things. So good to drive it again. Fun to drive an electric car again. You know, I know they've been a lot more in the news and online and stuff recently. So I definitely, like I said, I don't know if I would go out and buy one right now, but definitely something in the future that I think we're all going to have at least one electric car kind of in our garages at some point down the line. So definitely cool to get another feel for something like the Tesla. And yeah, just fun to come and catch up with Ryan and Eric again. And also get the owner's perspective from Ryan, as you know, someone who's had the car for almost 3 years now, drives it all the time, and kind of interesting, I guess, a little tidbit for any other Tesla owners out there with what he was saying about the brakes and having it on the high regen setting all the time, where it will kind of wear through your rotor. So something to keep an eye on. But yeah, I showed you guys the new wheels on the Civic. I'll have more with that car really soon. But yeah, just a fun day, kind of a random video. If it didn't make a whole lot of sense, I apologize. But if you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to the channel and watch more videos, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.